Okie dokie, folks. I have a momentary need to be right back. I can't find my baking powder. I thought I had it set out, so I'll be right back. It tipped over. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to make pizzelles tonight. Try being a word here. It's been a while, so I got my eggnog and my booze. I'm gonna get my headset out of the way. Pull up my chat because lo and behold, I hadn't done that yet. So, as I do that, the whole thing starts, I'm making vanilla pizzelles. So we're going to start first. We need 8 tablespoons of butter. I need to melt this. So I can melt this while I get my eggs going. I think I'm only going to make one batch of these because they are labor intensive. And I can only cook about 4 of them at a time with my pizzelle iron. So, pop this in the microwave for less than a minute. And then grab my eggs. 3 large eggs. Tend to always separate in a separate bowl. Nothing worse than getting a bad egg or getting shells in your cookies. So 3 eggs to start. And check my butter. 8 tablespoons of butter, nice and melted. Now, I don't know why my chat just does not want to stay up. Stay up, chat. Stay up. I need you, oh chat of mine. I'm going to start with 3 eggs and add those to our mixer. Along with our sugar. So 3 eggs, 3/4 cup of sugar. Growing up, we never really ever made cookies when I was a child. Not regularly. Not at Christmas anyhow. And pizzelles were not something that we made at all. But my best friend at the time, her mom made them. So she introduced me to them. And since then I loved them. So a few years ago, I borrowed my neighbor's pizzelle maker and started making pizzelles. And then my dad gifted me a maker for my birthday. And so Christmas is just not Christmas without pizzelles and the other cookies. Although, admittedly, I've been very lax on making cookies the past few years. I just haven't been up to it. Either being pregnant with a baby, family problems, sick relatives, and like. And to that, I'm going to drizzle more butter. So 3 eggs, 3/4 a cup of sugar, 8 tablespoons of butter. Get that mixed up really well. A pinch of salt. Or you can do any flavor pizzelle. I'm doing vanilla. But I've done almond, I've done chocolate. You can dip them in chocolate. You can dip them in white chocolate. You can do hazelnut. Anything goes with pizzelles. Okay, so to that, we're going to go ahead and add our vanilla. I don't know why, I didn't write down how much vanilla in this recipe. I'm going to go with a teaspoon of my homemade vanilla. I have been putting these recipes in my Discord so that everybody can enjoy them if they want. Even a recipe for my homemade vanilla. Just get yourself some organic vanilla beans online, dump cheap vodka over it, let it stew for a few months, you got homemade vanilla. So to that, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, which I couldn't find earlier. It had fallen over. So we've got 2 teaspoons in there. Like I said, these are labor intensive. Silly Candy! Thanks for lurk, hun. Getting the last minute items for Christmas. That's what my husband has to do tomorrow. I'm like, get bread, get beer. But I made eggnog, so we're good. Okay, so, right. Tonight's pizzelles, so I have, 11 dozen other cookies. I might get another batch of cookies made tomorrow, but I'm not entirely sure. It's like, if I get the mincemeat made by tomorrow evening, I'll do another cookie stream before I stream Destiny. Get that all mixed in. It's going to be a thin batter. But it makes like 4 or 5 dozen cookies, something like that. Okay, so 2 our eggs, our sugar, our salt, our baking powder, and our butter. Cup and 3/4 eyeballed of all-purpose flour. We'll get that mixed in. And that should be our batter. That should be all of it. We'll have to remove our mixer out of the way, get our pizzelle irons back there on the stove hooked up so we can start going. My loud ass mixer. Like a very eggy pizzelle mix. doesn't take much to make a cookie. So see how many we get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the mixer and set Bertha off to the side, because next part we'll be grabbing the Pizzelle irons. These cookies are really simple to make as far as the dough is concerned, the cookie dough, but you have to have a Pizzelle iron, either an electric one or a stovetop one. The electric ones are easier. Whoops. They just look like this. You can set your darkness levels, how brown you want your Pizzelle by that little lever. And they make 2 Pizzelles. Now you can get some, I think, that make more Pizzelles than that. But honestly, getting 2 of these machines going is something, so. An extension cord for this. I only have 2 plugs in the back, and one of them is the computer. Probably should not have that open. Pull these out a bit so they are away from everything. Adjust my camera. And let those heat up. Got a stick of butter on hand, just like this. It doesn't need to be fancy. Just to grease the machine. Since they are, you know, they have a coating on them, but they still tend to stick. The first few are going to look ugly, just so you know. Until the machines get hot and you get going and get a rhythm. Looks more like I might just need a tablespoon for this batter. Kitty! All my kitties in the kitchen, being cute as ever. Like, Mom, what are you making for Christmas? Making seafood stew tomorrow, so the cats are going to be all congregated. Mom, fish. I made this earlier. Haven't been fired up in a while, so they are a little smoky. Make sure those bad boys do not stick. Like I said, it's been a little while. I usually only make them at Christmas. We'll see how we get going here. A little steamy. advisable to keep a soft bristle toothbrush on hand if you own any Pizzelle maker, electric or otherwise. Soft bristles. Lots of nooks and crannies to get into. Same for waffle irons, this is pretty much the same basic concept. Same basic concept as waffles, only thinner. You can put fillings in them. I've seen people dip them in chocolate, sprinkle them with nuts, powdered sugar, powdered cocoa. Ideally, it's just kind of limitless, but the vanilla and anise and almond seem to be like the basic ones you see a lot. Now, you can go to the store, local Giant Eagle here in town. You can buy like a dozen Pizzelles at an exorbitant amount. You can make them for cheaper. Get yourself a Pizzelle. You can have Pizzelles whenever you want, or whenever you're feeling like you want Pizzelles. Okay, so I'm using tongs. See how we're doing as we get going. The part of the cooking the first few is tasting them. And cats are up here like, hey Mom, what are you doing? They're a little soft when they come out, but they will harden up. And get crispy. I think I want my Pizzelles a little darker, so I'm gonna bump it up to 2. I'm going to use a quick coat. I think I can add just a tad more batter to my centers. Smack dab in the center. Up and down, lock it. Lights are a little misgiving. Takes a bit of time to get into a rhythm. Popped my darkness up to 2 because I want these a little toastier. I kind of like the brown on them. It's a very eggy filling. I remember whipping up like a whole mixing bowl of dough and going overkill and being like, oh my god, it's taking forever to cook these. Let's see. These are fairly pale. Kind of a standard design. Like I said, you could add more batter. These are a little small. They're crisping up, cooling down. That's good. Voila. Now, after the holidays, after the first of the year, I'll bake another batch of these, or 2. I want to give some to my neighbors, but since we're huddled in quarantining, not really advisable at the moment. maybe a little much batter in this one. So, another in the butter. Some people will like take scissors to these, make them in perfect circles, take scissors to them so that they're absolutely perfect for Christmas. Screw that. Why waste a cookie? Eat it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. And down we go. Another round. Easy peasy, people. Easy peasy. I could eat these all night. I only make the one batch because A, I have a lot of cookies. B, they're time consuming, and I'd have to flip flop the Pizzelle makers in the mixer. Short counter. Need like a little table or something in here I can pop up with extras. Let's see. Making sure we are well buttered again because this batch was sticking a little bit. Just get your assembly line going. So it takes a little while. Drink your alcohol. Getting a little warm in here. Pop the window. Shiggy, what are you doing? Kitty. It's like, Mom, feed me. I'm starving. Feed me. Yeah, these are very soft when you take them out, so they're floppy. As soon as they start cooling and drying. They'll stiffen up. And ideally, you want to eat these within a few days. Because they'll go back to being soft and not crispy. Ah, man down. I believe I just committed cookie abuse. Set him aside. No little mousy man. In the other room, he'll eat cookie. So tending to stick just a tad. Butter these bitches up real good. Stop sticking. I can almost hear my neighbor like coming over to be like, "Hey, you got cookies." What are we cooking tonight? Pizzelles. We are cooking, I think they're Italian pizzelle cookies. Just a fancy thin cookie. How are you, Tony? Mm. These ones are vanilla. I've made chocolate ones before, I've made almond ones before. Whatever flavor you want, you can make. It's literally 3 eggs and 3/4 cup of sugar with a pinch of salt, some like 8 tablespoons of melted butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a cup and 3/4 of all-purpose flour. You mix that together, you put it in these Pizzelle irons. Oh, your cookies from last night. Sure. I think I put them in the oven. Cookies from last night. Apricot thumbprints. Nummy, nummy, nummy. Kitty, you don't eat cookies. I know that for a fact. You like meat. Like a puppy dog. Oh, no, puppy dog would eat it. It's out just a tad. Oh, that one's stuck. No sticking cookies. Came apart in 2 pieces. Which happens. I'm not a professional baker. So my cookies are edible, but not always pretty. Oh, this one's sticking. Cookies are sticking, oh my god. Most part they're doing okay. So all these little nooks and crannies tend to get things stuck in them if you're not careful. They thought they were chocolate chips. No, the other night was chocolate chip. The first night, last night was apricot thumbprints. So I've done 2 different cookies so far. So these cookies, like I said, I'm not going to make a bunch of these cookies. They're time consuming. So when I get through this batter, I'll be done. I'll be eating cookies and drinking eggnog. But yeah, first night was chocolate chips. Last night was apricot thumbprints. Tonight is the Pizzelles. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve, if I get the one ingredient made for the cookies, the mincemeat, if I get that made throughout the day, then I'll do another stream after the baby goes to bed, before I stream Destiny. And then we'll go from there. No zombie cat, go away. No cookies for you. Oh, man. What is with the sticking cookies all of a sudden? They are really sticking. I don't know, maybe I didn't leave them in long enough. I got bits and pieces in my cookie. Well, in my iron. You have to really have your timing down for these, or else you end up like I am with some cookies. Yeah. I've been buttering as I go. I think I needed to leave them a little longer. They were a bit soft. There's a little light on here that tells you how long. And my timing isn't really down. So, I think that's some of the problem. I think some people do Pizzelles at Easter as well, like an Easter cookie. I know you can get the antique Pizzelle irons for like campfire stove on eBay. And in some communities, like getting a wedding gift of a Pizzelle iron was a big deal. And they would decorate Christmas trees with them. They'd make Pizzelle cookies. They were labor intensive. They decorate the Christmas tree with them. I think they do the same thing maybe with Springerly, but I think you see Springerly maybe more at Easter. Oh, Springerly are intensely labor intensive. I've made them once or twice. I love them. You have to have room to be able to do them because they have to dry for like a day or two before you bake them. I don't have that kind of room. Our old place, we had several bedrooms and I just set up tables and have drying cookies everywhere. think this is going to make 5 dozen because they're kind of big, but and just light and crispy and yummy. This one literally stuck to the lid and rolled over. Like I said, they're soft when you first take them off. I need to be careful getting in there. Come on, you. Tease the cookie out. Okay, I don't normally condone this, but I need to get up under the lip and pop that cookie out. So, real quick, I need to grab a plate. I'm running out of space on my cooling rack. Put some cookies on the plate. I'll pop these into some storage bags later. I think I could almost even go a little darker on the bake. And really brown them up. So, a whole plate of cookies. So far, we only have one casualty. It becomes the Dot cookie because Dot is over a 1.5 years old. Dot gets to eat whatever the hell he wants because he's a mouse and he likes cookies and crackers and meat and anything we eat, anything fatty. He will enjoy a Christmas cookie of his own. No wasting cookies. I'm getting down to the last of my batter here. A few more, maybe 1 or 2 left on the cookie baking, and I'll be done. Then I will be making. Well, I'll be cleaning up and then I'll be playing video games. So good. Just be careful. These get really hot. You don't want to touch the outside. Keep your hands to the plastic part. They're fairly cool. Don't walk away from them. When you got cookies in, don't walk away from them. You'll burn your cookies. See how this is doing? Sort of came apart a little bit. Still tasty though. last set of cookies, I might go darker on the bake and see what that does. Like I said, it's been a little while since I've made these. So until you get into a rhythm, not really sure what you're doing. So make sure to butter my iron. I'm going to pop this up to a 3 on the bake scale. It might get a little darker. These are fairly light so far. Might be able to get 1 or 2 cookies out of what's left. So, let's see, where is my spatula? Cats are over here circling like, hey, Mom's got the window open. Yeah, because it's hot as hell in here. Not as bad as when you have, say, the oven going, but it's still pretty warm. My spatula's making weird sounds. I've got cookie batter all over me. I'm surprised doing these cookie streams. They don't have flour head to toe. I'm not a neat baker. Oh. Yeah, it's dark. And they still stuck. Even with the butter, they still stuck. It's a little dark. I think probably 2, 2.5 would be probably the darkest you should go. Okay, enough for 1 more cookie. Pass this one and then we're done. Did it make 5 dozen? No, I don't think it made 5 dozen. That's okay. I don't really need 5 dozen cookies. You could probably use a little less batter, but I ain't gonna worry about it. Pretty much an entire plate of Pizzelles. I mean, they're not too shabby for not having made them for a few years. So I'll take them. Like I said, you make pizzelles, you eat them up within a few days because they get crispy as they cool, but the longer they set, they start getting soggy again. So. Give this another minute. Peek. Okay, they didn't stick to the top. Gotta be careful because these are hot. Also, if you have much more area than I do, even better. 3 foot of counter space for your laptop for streaming, and Pizzelle makers, not ideal, but it is what it is. And those are my Pizzelles. In my Discord, there's a section called Cookie Recipes. The chocolate chip cookies are in there. The thumbprints from yesterday are in there. And I'm going to put a recipe for these Pizzelles along with homemade vanilla, something I love to do. So that if you want to try them out, you can. If not, it's all good. Hopefully someday when the pandemic is over, I used to have a setting in my chat that if you accrued enough channel points with my bot that you could redeem them for cookies being sent to your house. I would bake you cookies and send them to you. Once I found out I was expecting the baby and the whole pandemic thing, that kind of went away for now. Hopefully when this is all past, I could put that back in, and people that stop by, have been around for a long time, can redeem for real cookies, and I can bake for you all. So on that note, I am going to see who is on, who is streaming, who of my peeps are streaming. Let's see, we have got a couple people. I know who we're going to go say hi to. We're going to go say hi to one of my teammates. She's been here and there for streaming because, life stuff for work and that. So I will see you all tomorrow. I'll either be cooking another batch of cookies first or going straight to playing Destiny. But that's my Christmas cookies for the year. And we'll see you all later. If I don't actually hear from you, have a good holiday, stay safe. Hopefully Christmas is everything you want it to be. So I'll see you later.